Hey guys, it's Enemy K Swimming Bird, and welcome to ARMS on Nintendo Switch. This is the full game and not a test punch. I have to start by saying this product was provided by Nintendo because they sent me a copy to check out as a preview, and I'm able to stream some of it with you guys and do little preview videos, so that is what we're doing today. So let's get right into it. We have limited time. I'm going to start with some verses and really highlight the two characters that were not available in the test punch so far. We just got Twintel in the most recent one. Let's turn the computer up a little bit here. And then there's 7 levels of difficulty, but we are going to focus a lot tonight on the newer characters, especially these two right here, Kid Cobra and Byte Barq. So let's start with them, and we'll fight against Kid Cobra. So you get, both of them at one time. I am going to set my arms here because you can see I've been unlocking these using the Get Arms system and everything. So I got to go back to my player here and then switch them around. So this is one of Master Mummy's that I really like, but I unlocked it for him. I will go with the default arms so you guys get a sense of what these characters are like in their default state here. So we got Kid Cobra. Let's get into it. I'll show the alternate costumes as we get some matches going as well, but we are going to Buster Beach, which is Byte Barq stage, and then we'll show Snake Park, so you get a good rundown of all the new stuff here that hasn't been featured really in the test punches. So let me know if you have any questions between matches. I will try to answer them and everything when I can catch them in the chat. And if you do want to check out the test punch, I show a bunch of the other characters, including a lot of Twintel during those. So definitely check those out. Barq was looking very concerned there as I tried my best to get up off the ground after getting attacked by Kid Cobra there. Ooh, jeez, unblocked at the wrong time. So Byte Barq, it's this robot duo. I think they're actually supposed to be the same robot because Barq actually does connect onto my head here, as we'll see with my rush attack. And speaking of which, let's build that up and get it going so we don't let him get in. There we go. So Byte connects with Barq during the special attack, so that's kind of a nice little thing. But normally the matches revolve around trying to make sure that Barq is in a good position to help you out. So how does he do that? You can actually jump on top of him and get a little bit of a jump, very similar to Mega Man with Rush and Mega Man. They're kind of that little duo of a robot and their dog buddy. So, help me, Barq. Sometimes he will help you out of grabs and rush attacks by actually punching. And the way to get him to punch a little bit more consistently is to charge up your attacks, and then Barq will try to charge his attack as well, making it, it's more likely going to throw out there. So he's not the most accurate or anything. He definitely has some trouble hitting, but it's nice having this little character that goes around with you. It's kind of like a little puppet character that you can somewhat control, and he will help you. He'll take hits for you to kind of, break a rush combo or a special. He can get in the way of some of that stuff and really save you in a tight position. If someone is grabbing you, sometimes he will punch them and get you out of the grab. So he's going to be, worth his weight by far if you have him around. He definitely helps out by making sure that, so he kind of took a hit there, so he's going to have a little lie down, but when he's back up, he'll be fighting again. He never is out of the match fully unless you lose. So yeah, it's kind of a way to balance Byte Barq, that Byte does not really have many unique things of his own. He's kind of a pretty large-sized character, I think around the same size as Twintel, a little bit larger than average. He's not necessarily all that fast or anything. That is when I want to get in there and grab, when he's got his arms broken like that. So that's the good part about this. Ooh, help me, Barq. Sometimes I'll say that for luck. So yeah, he's got his on his right hand the Siki, which is a missile that will home in on your opponent, making it a little easier to try to get him. I've got my rush here, but I want to try to finish it without it if I can. His arm's breaking. There we go. So yeah, the Siki, the fish thing on my right hand, has electrical attacks. It can stun their arms. You see those exclamation marks? That means those arms are not being used for a bit. It goes yellow to red, and then they can't block or do anything really, so you can grab them easily. That's my main strat with Byte Barq, is to hit him with that to stun him and get a grab, or have Barq punch him. Let's do another different skin style here. So if you click in the left stick and push a direction, you can choose different skins for the characters. Let's go to Snake Park as well. This is Kid Cobra's stage. And there are 4 different ones, including the default. So, up is the default. You can do different skins. I will use some different arms here, though. So let's use the Cracker. And then the Bub is the other one I've been using. That's a good one to kind of throw out there to block stuff, because you can puff it up by charging it, and then it really helps you to blaze a trail and allow you to get in maybe a weaker or a slower arm by deflecting other arms that are in the way. Kid Cobra's trying to get onto his little snake board. So this is his snake park where you can ride these little snake boards around and actually do some crazy tricks and stuff as you're skidding all over the place. It gives you a definite boost in speed. Barq knocked him off there, it looked like. I'm gonna try to get some health back and give him the old 1-2. There we go. We're ready for a rush. Let's see if we can get him. Speaking of, every time I say rush as in the special attack, I think of Rush, the dog that we mentioned before. But there we go. Barq, his timing can be a little weird, where sometimes they're on the ground, and sometimes he throws out the hit when I want to get in there and do a grab, or other times he gets hit by a shock bomb. But you know, over time he will prove useful, even if he gets hit a lot and isn't always there for you when you need him. He always tries. That's what I appreciate about him. We might get a perfect here if I'm doing well enough. So this is level 4 out of 7. Definitely not the toughest, but if you beat Grand Prix on level 4, you unlocked ranked mode, which is the more serious online competitive mode. There we go. We got a perfect, so you can see the little yellow dot there telling you that you got a perfect and you get more of the currency in the game by using that. Let's try a double Seeky and see how this goes, because these are really good. Now, the only problem with these kind of explosion arms is if you charge them up and then somebody hits you while you're charging them, then you can really get into some trouble, because they'll explode on you and give you some problems. Oop, he was vulnerable there, but I was too far away. So arms, all of the arms only have a certain amount of distance that they can go, and then you gotta try to move in closer to make sure that you can actually hit. One thing that is cool with the motion controls, that's what I'm currently using, is you can actually throw a grab and stretch it a little bit wider than you normally would be able to. He's going for his rush. That's okay, we didn't take too much damage there. Let's counter with ours. Send that pup into battle. There we go. And those explosions do quite a bit. You can get over 400 damage, which is almost half their life, by doing one of those rush attacks. And there we go. Ooh, can we grab him? Ooh, so close. See if we can get a good grab on him. But yeah, being able to actually turn the Joy-Cons out to extend your grab is a thing that is so much tougher on traditional controls. You can still do it if you actually, flick the stick fast enough, but I like being able to make a extended grab. I'm just trying to get a good grab on him so that we can show that. But yeah, usually you don't want to just be grabbing. This isn't the test punch, no. A lot of people when they first start to learn the game, they do grab a lot. So while I'm bouncing on Barq, I can actually just kind of hover, and that's another use that I showed before, but I haven't done too much. If you're bouncing on him, he does act like a trampoline and allow you to, let's focus too much on grabbing him here, where he's gonna lose, but he survived that. So yeah, Barq, you can use him as a little trampoline, or a thing to spring up in the air. And you do that by figuring out where he is and jumping over to him. It's a little tough to time. It takes some practice to do. So, but when you're doing that, you'll just kind of like bounce idly, and then you can hit jump to get this huge jump on Barq, and then it's very tough for anyone to hit you when you're doing that. There's a white Byte Barq skin there. We'll do one more on the Snake Park, since we're gonna do Kid Cobra, and then we'll mix up some of the stages. So yeah, Barq is constantly like doing little things like sniffing. Like, he seems like he checks on Byte when he's losing. I've got a custom couple arms on here, so I should go back to the default on Kid Cobra. But anyways, yeah, Byte and Barq, they're kind of they've got some weaknesses to them for sure. Like I mentioned, yeah, if Barq is out of commission, there's not much you can do. He's just kind of hanging out there, and they can be tough to get used to. The flow of battle with them, where you need to make sure you are making full use of them, or you might as well be playing another character, because if you're not making good use of Barq, then you could get some other more active benefits from some of the other characters. At the same time, I really love their design. I do like having that buddy in battle when you're on your own. It can really help. But you can see how much faster here I'm able to get this damage on as Kid Cobra, because he is really good at racking up damage. Oop, there's a throw for you if you want to see one from Byte and Barq. I love how jeez, didn't block fast enough. I love how the items, like the bombs, they will kind of like move out of the way if you happen to move. They're always trying to make sure they're between you and your opponent in a fair way. So there's a little bit of randomness in items and stuff, a la Mario Kart in this game. But give me another hug. We're gonna have to be careful here. But for the most part, it is a skill-based game. And Barq, oh man, Barq gave me that fiery punch. Hope we don't lose here. This is gonna be bad if we do. See if we can get him with a good. Nope, he's gonna. This is scary. One more hit, and we are in trouble. There we go. All right, that whammer took him out. One thing you might have noticed is Byte only does 150 with his grab. Kid Cobra does 170, which is actually quite, a good chunk more. So I think he's a little bit better in the grab game. Kid Cobra, I'm a little worried, is going to get nerfed here because of how good he is. He has the maximum arm girth is what it's called, which gives you more HP. It makes your arms larger, so he can be hit a little easier because of that. But his arms are very protected from getting knocked out of. Oop, that's gonna be bad. His arms are very protected from being broken as easily, kind of like Master Mummy and Mechanica, some of the heavier characters. The only really big weakness that Kid Cobra has is his short dash. Like if you look at his normal dash, it is very slow, very predictable. He cannot get around very easily normally. That's part of why his stage has these snake boards. Oh jeez, missing a lot of my rushes here. But the cool thing you'll notice I've been doing it a little bit here, if you have a charged punch, you can do a bunch of those dashes. You just have a charge and then you hit dash afterwards. You can see he moves so quick. It's one of the fastest dashes when you have that going. So it's like he makes up for his weaknesses, which I don't feel like a lot of the other characters really do. So I don't know if Kid Cobra is going to stay as good as he is forever or anything. But we'll see. The developers are paying attention to the test punch and the different battles and who's winning, who's losing to try to balance the game. They're already planning on doing that sort of thing. Gotta get in here and get a. Oop, jeez. Don't want to time this wrong because we're running out of time here. See if we can get in here and get a rush on him, and maybe we'll get enough damage to win. Maybe a throw. Nope. He's gonna get me, and that should be enough. He didn't get knocked out. He's right at the edge, but we did enough to win the round. There's a lot of really good things about Kid Cobra. Not only can he use that crazy quick dash, he's got crazy large snake arms. He can jump really high. He's got one of the best jumps in the game. It's a little floaty, as we'll see here, but it can be comparable to Twintel or Ribbon Girl in terms of how useful his jump can be. Let's go to Twintel's stage. Cinema 2, which is like a French theater here with cameramen. Some of your the people in the audience are dressed up like the two, or however many fighters you have in the area. Do two Slamamanders. But there's some on the camera you'll see in the background here when we turn the stage around, and there's a lot of cool details in the background. I really love all the variety of the different fans in the crowd, and the fact that they've got little hats and things, like they'll wear barks on their heads if you're, playing Byte Barq or playing against them. And with King Cobra, or I almost say King Cobra, that's the pun. Kid Cobra, they have that little swirly snake on their head that is cool looking. The whole thing with all the different stages having these unique styles per character, it really reminds me of something like Street Fighter. I think it's heavily influenced by stuff like Street Fighter and Punch-Out. There is a statue of Twintel in the background there. I'm going to try to use my dash effectively to keep her out of here. Oop, she's getting her HP back. So the items, if I didn't mention them yet, there's the HP juice there, Michael's secret stuff, except it does actually help you try to recover your hit points. There's the rush juice, which gives you your special, and then the two types of bombs, shock bombs, which stun your arms, and the explosive fire bomb is the one that does 200, which is a fifth of your life, same amount as Master Mummy's throw. So you got to be careful about that. Oop, Twintel dodging out of the way with her star power to slow things down. I got to be careful here. She's going to go in for a rush if I'm not careful. But we're getting down to the wire. Oh, and that might be it for me. Yeah, she took the round. Okay. You can see some of the details in the back. I'm trying to see. I think it might be one of her fans on the camera there controlling it. Let's see. I'm going to switch it up because, you typically don't want to have two of the same arms on, you want to have one that you can maybe use a little quicker, and one that can do more of the damage or get the different element that you want in there to try to get that advantage. So I tend to, throw out one and the other, but I'm playing a little idly now where I'm not thinking about it as much. You really want to be reacting to your opponent, especially on harder difficulties. Similar to most fighting games, you want to be, waiting for them to punch, and then you get out of there and hit them. We got hit with a Chilla glove, so we were slowed down a little bit. There we go. All right, let's see if we can kind of worm our way in, or snake our way in there. It makes sense. Usually I would think of a snake as being better on the ground than jumping in the air, but I think it's because he can coil and jump up really high, but then when it comes to movement, unless he's charged up, he doesn't have as much mobility horizontally. So you can see the whammer that I'm using hits through most punches. It's a heavy arm, very good at racking up that damage. It's one of Mechanica's default arms, so you gotta unlock that for other characters. Oop, they're not gonna get much on me because I kind of interrupted a little bit with the whammer. See if we can get a hit off, and then no, I'm not timing my rushes very good, but we'll step it up here as we get a little bit more into the game. But yeah, the different arms and everything, you have to unlock everything outside of the 3 default ones. This is gonna be bad because I think she's gonna get us here. Unless we really get a ton of damage. And did we manage? Yeah, we managed to hit her down enough to survive. So we're going into another match. Look at those snake hats on the side with the fans cheering. But yeah, the whole thing with unlocking the arms, you play Get Arms mode, which I will show you once we rack up a little bit of money here to be able to play it. And you can unlock arms mostly for your character, but you get them for other characters as well. So, she got me with the Thunderbird, so she stunned me. That's the thing I like to do with Byte Barq. But yeah, I gotta be quick here and try to look out. There we go. All right, let's see if we can dip in. The cool thing about Kid Cobra's dash is the fact that it can get underneath stuff. I got a lighter popper arm on my other side that's very similar to Ribbon Girls. There we go. We're getting the damage. But yeah, his dash, you can dash under other arms, so it is really good to make sure you're always holding a charge and you're ready to throw that out there. That should explode, and nope, she got out of the way in time. This is one of my favorite stages because we got all these little cars to hide behind and dip around. There's limos and stuff. She might get me here if I'm not careful. We're gonna have to really step things up to beat her. I mentioned he's got one of the better grabs in the game, so I should be using that. Oop, gonna get in and do that. If you hit someone with a grab when you're jumping, then you will go to them. If you grab them when they're on the ground, then they will go to you. And what she go? Oh no! I was like, oh, as soon as she throws a punch, I'll throw a rush out. But that shows you the dangers of guarding. You sit there and guard, you're gonna get grabbed, and that's a lot of damage. All right, so let's play a little Twintel because I just got beaten by her. So, but we'll also jump into a different mode. So there's other modes here that I don't think I've been shown too much. Some of them were in the test punches. We have V-Ball, Hoops, Skill Shot. 1-on-100 is something that I can't really play all the way through because there are some secrets that I don't want to spoil and I'm not allowed to spoil. Although some of them were shown in the test punch recently. And let's do arms test real quick. I'm gonna jump on with Twintel, get her one of her alternate costumes there. And so yeah, definitely check out the test punches if you haven't been doing that. And yeah, there's gonna be a ton of those, so check those out. I'll show some of the other characters, of course, but we're messing around with some of the new ones more. So arms test, it puts you in a random mode. We're in skill shot right now, which is I kind of mentioned in the test fire, one of my least favorite modes because it does slow things down a little bit to try to be throwing out arms and hitting these targets. It actually does slow down your character slightly, but it's noticeable. That way it's not just, spamming a ton of hits to try to get all these targets. You really do have to play your cards right if you want to make sure you get the... Ooh, trying to hit that back at me. If you want to win the most points here, you got to look out for your opponent and try to plan your hits in a good enough fashion where you're not going to just mess up and have your arms extended while you're trying to get these targets. But arms test specifically is a mode where they give you random arms to try out. That's why we had some really weird ones from, we've got one from Springman. We got one of hers, actually. The Thunderbird I'm using is one of her default arms. And we're doing good enough here where I think we can win this and get a grab right at the end. Insult to injury, and we'll float. So yeah, arms test is kind of like, you want to learn about the game, jump in there. It'll throw you all these arms, and you just try them out in different modes and see which ones you like. Then you can kind of, look forward to unlocking certain ones, or maybe try different characters that have the different arms. So now, look, I've got these big heavy arms from Helix, and the Megaton. We have some boosted ones, so it really encourages you to try out the more powerful ones. So let's go with a Blorb from Helix and a Megaton from Master Mummy. The bigger arms, like I mentioned before, look at how much damage that does, but it also blocks a considerable amount of incoming damage, because you're going to be able to actually get a punch through their punches and get more hits that way. The only problem is it is so slow that you got to be careful with how you're. So, jeez. Trying to get her power going. So I showed this a little bit in the test punch. You can hold down her dash to slow down time, and then when something gets near, it's going to be a little tough with his explosive arms, but I'm going to try to get a good shot of her slowing down time. You can't punch when you're trying to do it, so you got to kind of hold it, and then if something does happen to get close to you when that is activated, it is like a witch time. She is very similar to Bayonetta in most ways. There we go. Hit him with the shock bomb and took him out. But yeah, you wanna use that as a way to react and give yourself more time to get out of situations. You can, if you're in the air and you're holding dash to slow down time, you just drop out of the air. If you're on the ground, you can jump. Different ways to do that. We got a streak going here, so I'm gonna keep arms test going for a bit. But yeah, if you do have requests for modes you want to see, I can show a little bit of Grand Prix, but I don't want to obviously spoil anything. Let's use the Guardian from our buddy Helix. This is a really weird arm that you extend like a shield, and then you can kind of push it in by throwing out the hit again, and it kind of tracks in on your opponent and it blocks stuff. But if they do get close enough to get hit by it, then they're going to take a shock. So you got to be careful about that. I'm going to try to get out of the way. There we go. Look at all that damage. So let's try to get in here and throw one of these out. Hit him with it if we can. But you have to actually aim your own arms around your Guardian, so it can be a bit tricky to use. Helix is a very defensive character, so that's why he's got this set up with the Guardian. We'll see if we can kind of block that. Oh, and the problem with that problem with the Guardian is when you have that extended, you can't shield, so it's definitely not one of my favorites of the arms, but it's got its uses. There we go. Look out for Barq when you are doing those throws, because look, you just went in for the attack. Let's see if we can slow down stuff a little bit and get in here with a... Oh, nope. Yeah, you got to be careful with when you throw the rush out, because you're going to waste your special if you use it at the wrong time. Barq took a Guardian to the snout there, but he's okay. He gets up in a few seconds, so it doesn't really take that much much time. We got me. It doesn't take that much time to wait for him to recover. He does 30 damage on his little Barq hits, and he does the full 70 with his fire powered up charge. Ooh, we got to be careful here, because he's gonna be able to. Ooh, trying to go for a grab. No, that's not gonna work. Man, timing that with the Guardian when it's thrown out there can be a little tricky, but that's part of the arms test. You're just trying out different stuff. You gave him the win, so Barq is happy. No. All right, so let's jump into a different mode here anyways. I'm going to do a little bit of the Grand Prix. I'm not going to spoil the story or anything or what lies in wait if you get really far into it, but we're going to play some of this with Kid Cobra. I haven't actually played much with him. Let's go back to his default arms, though. So he's got the Hydra, which shoots out this vertical row of missiles, which is really good for jumping characters. And then the Coolerang, which can freeze, so that's a pretty good one as well. It says it keeps him cool in the summertime, too. Let's see which one. Yeah, I like this yellow skin a lot, and we'll do 4. If you go, a little too far past that, you're going to have some difficulties early on, so it definitely pays to try to fight, using some of the earlier levels when you're learning. Don't just jump right into 6 or 7 or the computer's going to give you so much trouble. So we've got live from the Snake Park, the coolness, the mystery, the force of the ARMS Grand Prix is upon us. This is Biff, the announcer. And who else would be here to share in this action-packed event but your buddy Biff? So this is more, like a story thing. We learn about Kid Cobra. He's from the Naja crew. All eyes are on Kid Cobra. Literally, the views on his skateboard videos are in the 7 digits, I think is what. If I was a betting man, I'd say his performance in the ARMS Grand Prix will only add to his fan base. He likes snakeboarding and making rad vids. I can relate. But what do I know? I couldn't make a vid. Yeah. So hopefully I can. So yeah, he's all about his snakeboarding, which is his normal job. But then he has the 1 in 100,000 arms gene that gives him these stretchy arms. So he's decided to enter the Grand Prix to try his luck at getting some extra views on his streams and stuff. He's a very modern millennial type of guy. We've got his hopes and dreams of his home base, the Spring Gym, riding on his shoulders. Springman is here. He's the away team. He's radiating passion. He is definitely the little Mac of this game. He's got that kind of setup to him, even though he is all, set up with the ARMS style. He's got those springy arms. But yeah, someone mentioned in the chat, Dat is asking, is Kid Cobra very grab heavy? And he does do more damage on grabs, so I feel like if you are a very grab-oriented player, he is pretty good to use. So definitely, that's a very valid strategy with him. Got to be careful. If he's on the snakeboard and I'm not, then I'm going to have a tougher time catching up with him, so I'm going to try to get on one myself. There we go. If we can get in here. That's when I want to hit him with a grab. Oop, nope. Man, yeah, he's ducking and diving. The battles on the Snake Park can be insane because of how much is just, especially like 2-on-2 on this map is just, you're really frantic. Definitely something that you need to, get a little practice with the game before getting too deep into that. When I do some of his dashes and stuff, like his special ability, you might be able to see it here if I get another chance against Springman. Ooh. He dipped in really quick. I gotta be careful. He's being very aggressive. And he's gonna try to block my shot. Nope. And that is it. Man, Springman, he's roughing me up already on level 4. So you can see the computer can be really aggressive. But when you use that dash ability with Kid Cobra on the snakeboard, he actually does little flips and stuff. So that's a trait that's kind of just a little aesthetic difference that is unique to him. I think I got stuck on something there because I was trying to do it. But oop, there we go. So the main thing with him, I feel like if you use a jump to get where you want to go and then use his dash, you're probably going to have a easier time than charging a dash because he seems to be pretty slow to get his charge off of a dash. You can charge in a bunch of different ways. If you weren't already aware, you can guard to charge, you can jump to charge. I just went under his shot there using that dash. And you can, jump, dash, and guard to charge are the main ways. And I gotta be careful. Oh, yeah, my one arm was gone, so I couldn't guard there. That was a risky maneuver. Let's throw that in at him. See if he can handle that. No, he's gonna. Oh, jeez. I'm having a rough time against Springman. I hope I don't lose on the first guy here, but that's just kind of a indicator of the fact that I've only been playing a couple days, and that it can be pretty difficult, like I mentioned before. But I'll use my grabs because they do a little more damage. They do. Try to use that Coolerang to freeze him and slow him down so maybe he'll get hit by some of those bombs and stuff. But he is really making good use of the snake board. This is not going to be good for Kid Cobra here. Yep, I'm almost out. Springman, is this how you do me? Come on, buddy. He's not cooperating with the stream very well, and that is it. That's the danger of throwing out both of your arms and getting punched. We will rematch him, and if I do struggle against him again, then we'll move on to something else. But there we go. He got the win. Springman, his voice lines, he has some really weird ones. Sometimes he'll just go boing, and I'm like, okay, that's great. That's a weird thing to say when you win. Sometimes he'll go spring-a-ling, and yeah, he's kind of a corny guy, but I can respect that. All right, I need to focus here, so I might, chill out on commentating a little bit and focus on the match, be more, of a competitor and less of a Biff. See if we can get in here, and yeah, he is giving me a tough time. Try to put that into him. There we go. He's stunned, and And we got him. All right, that's a good amount of damage. Got to be careful with his dashes, because if you dash the wrong way, you might go right into a punch instead of dodging out of the way of it. Try to play the distance game a little bit and watch where he's going to go. Ooh, he's moving in. He's got his trident, so he can stun me as well, but while he's distracted with the bomb, jumping in and gonna steal his snake board if I can get on there. Nope, he wants it. He wants it. This is mine. Back off. Oh, now, so Springman's got his ability now. When he gets to a quarter health or below, he gets these instant charges on all of his punches, so you gotta be very careful with that. There we go. Doing a little better now that I'm focusing. And now I've got my rush, so I saw that he was getting low. Just like, most fighting games, you have a special move, and you realize if you realize you don't need it necessarily, maybe save it for the next round, because it does carry over. There we go. Oop. I froze him a little bit there, so he couldn't move as easily, so I tried to go for a grab, but he had the same idea, but luckily we both dipped out of the way. This stage is, like, pretty intense with the amounts of dips and dives. It kind of feels like it would be a cool Splatoon map with the sports theme, as well as how many different, grooves and areas that would be cool to go over as a squid. But yeah, I like the snake boards a lot. It's just if you're not on one and your opponent is, listen to me flail the motion controls. If you're not on one and your opponent is, then you're gonna have a very bad time with trying to stay away from them and actually hit them when they can, just dance circles around you. But luckily, I've got my dashing ability, so he's gonna try to go for his rush here if I'm not careful. Ooh, don't want to throw that out. So I mentioned in the other preview video I did, if you haven't watched it yet, that I do prefer the motion controls because of the extra grab that you can do a little easier with the wide grab, like I just did there. I'll let him go to town, and then I'll smack him. Oh, nope. We got him. Didn't even need that rush. So yeah, being able to easily do a wider grab if you need to is very handy, but also the extra precision of being able to curve your punches. It's a lot easier, for me personally at least, with the motion controls, but I do recommend, if you're trying the game out, maybe give the traditional controls a spin at least a couple times if you're planning on using motion controls, because it helps you learn the game a little easier when you can use a control stick to move around, and then once you got the hang of things, I think it's a little easier to jump into motion controls and get the extra precision and everything. All right, Sneaky Snake, we're going to try to get through and get revenge. This is the same stage and same opponent that we had before. I'm going to try the Hydra on her because she is a very vertical fighter. Like Ribbon Girl, she likes to spend a lot of time in the air because, look, she can just do that dazzling attack. So I'm going to see if we can dip around here and, oof, went right into that. Ooh, and that's what happens when you get frozen. So much easier for that follow-up attack to hit you. Knock that into her if we can and maybe trap her towards it. Nope, she didn't fall for it. A lot of positioning with the bombs and making sure that, you hit the bomb in the way that you know your opponent is going to go, or at least give them an ultimatum where they can either go into an item like that or have to deal with something like your rush attack. Say the computer's pretty good at blocking. She was behind a car anyways. Here we go. Grab her. The computer's pretty good at blocking in time, so you want to wait to do your rush, typically, your special, until you know that they have a arm extended, and they'll have a tougher time. Now I'm starting to get into playing him. We did the test punch, and I didn't have a chance to play Kid Cobra much, so I think we're doing a little better here now that I've got him going. Let's see if we can do a wide grab and dip into... Oh, nope. Who parked that there? It is like a movie premiere, so it was a little tougher for me to get that hit, where I wanted it. Ooh, so see there, she slowed my grab down, making it a lot tougher for me to actually land it. She's got her special. Gonna be careful. She's gonna go in and try to use it at the last second to even things up. Ooh, had my arms extended. I think we'll be okay. So this happens sometimes, especially with real people. You'll go to time, and whoever has the most health wins, kind of like points. And it's a valid strategy in a fighting game, but sometimes it can feel a little cheap to win by that. But there are definitely people that are going to do that online, so it's a strategy you have to accept if you do want to get wins. All right, let me see if we can kind of get her into a good spot where I can hit her with the rush attack before she freezes me and just goes to town. She is very scary, not just for her ability, but her default arms. I do think she's got some of the better ones. The parasol, she's not using that, but she can block stuff with that and kind of send it out faster than some of the other arms that are very focused on blocking. And then, speaking of blocking, she was able to get up. You can actually guard out of a get up, so if someone's down and you have a rush attack, don't do as I did and try to hit them with the rush, because they can just go straight into a guard from being knocked on the ground. So it's not worth it to throw that out there thinking they're not going to guard. If they see it on the way, they will definitely have that ready to go. Let's see if we can get her with a grab. So yeah, if you look at how I'm kind of like extended that grab, giving it more room to latch onto them, that can be useful. But remember, it's easier to punch a grab away when it is bigger like that. Okay, so we're making our way through Grand Prix a little bit. I won't go too much farther because, again, I don't want to spoil what happens at the end. But we'll do maybe one more match here and then jump into stuff. Shadowburn asked what controls we're using. I am using motion controls. Here we go. Get a little bit more interaction with the new characters here. So we're on match 3. There's, I think, usually like 10 or so, 9 or 10. And we're playing some skill shot. Uh-oh, my favorite. So this is, again, you have to try to look out for your opponents and hit stuff. I much prefer using the get arms mode to, practice my targeting, because then you don't have to worry about your opponent. But yeah, this is going to be a tougher trial by fire sort of thing if you're learning how to aim your arms. It's probably a good one for something like the cooler rain, because I can kind of send it out and maybe hit him without him expecting it. Certain arms are really good at getting in there unexpectedly, like the Chakram and the Ram on Min Min and Ninjara. They're are really good at making sure your opponent might not see that on the way. Man, he's really getting me. Typically, you want to be in position to just really hit the targets like as soon as they pop up, or your opponent is going to hit them and knock bombs into you. But yeah, you gotta be quick and you gotta be ready, because he's gonna throw stuff out. There we go, throw that out there. A throw is pretty good at stalling. If you do happen to get that locked on, you can actually get, there you go, a little extra time. Typically, your goal is to hit targets and hit your opponent in this mode, because then you'll get the most points. But it can be a little tough. We have a few seconds left. That should be a lot of points. There you go. I hit a bunch of targets, and then I got that throw in. And even though we fell, that was more than enough. I think that was almost like half my points there was that last target thing, and then throwing him over. So Zance is asking, how does Kid Cobra's slide work? So you have to, on a charge, you could jump and hold jump to get a charge. You can hold dash to get a charge, even though he's a little slower doing that. Or you can guard and get a charge. But once you have a charge, any way you have it, you just tap the dash button as many times as you can get it if you want to, and you can zip around and dodge punches. I think I've gotten up to 4. You might be able to get more than that. But yeah, you have to be pretty quick, and it's a good way to get in and out of sticky situations. Ninjara here, he is the other very throw-happy, quick character that you're going to deal with a lot of the time. I think I'm going to switch to a Hydra, see if we can catch him in the air, because he's a jumpy boy. He's going to try to get around and corner me here, so let's see if we can get in. Yeah, lots of Ninjaras grabbing in the test punch from what I've seen and heard, so it is a little tough to deal with their grabs. But remember, all you have to do is throw out a punch to stop a grab. So if you've got one ready, then it's a little easier to deal with. You just got to be careful not to throw out your punches too quick or too, haphazardly, or you're going to get grabbed like that. Yeah, I threw out a grab, and then the best way to punish a grab typically is with another grab, because they're usually going to be going so slow that it is tough for someone to dodge. So there, I caught him in his ninja teleport. So one of his abilities, when he's in the air and he dashes, he does that little smoke puff ninpo magic. And when he shields, like so, he just did that there. So whenever he guards, the game automatically does that for him. But you can use that against him by, you know, timing out your attacks and putting them, yeah, like right there, I just kind of smacked to the side and he went right into it because he was guarding. So even though that it is an advantage in some ways, it's a disadvantage in others because it makes you very vulnerable. And Ninjara, you really don't want to be blocking a lot of rush attacks when you play as him because he typically, oop, there we go. He got me with his. I'm trying to save mine for the next match, but I might have to burn it here to get him. There we go. Ninjara. So if you're playing Ninjara, which I do recommend if you're starting the game out or doing the test punch, he is very good at, you know, quickly maneuvering around and getting grabs. But be very careful when you guard, because yeah, it is super easy to. There we go. It's super easy to accidentally have the game, you know, auto move you when you're guarding, because he doesn't take chip damage on his shield like all the other characters. He actually, you know, moves out of the way. But if you have that going on, somebody could easily, I wonder if I could get him to do it. So let's see, he'll block this. Oh no, he moved out of the way and punched me. So that's the good part of that. The bad part is if the game you know, makes you move with that ninja dash, then you can accidentally go right into the rush attack still, the thing you were trying to avoid, the thing that you blocked to get out of the way of. So just be wary if you're gonna play Ninjara. I feel like Kid Cobra might be a little bit more of an advanced Ninjara. Sort of like Springman and Min Min are very similar characters with some of their abilities, but Min Min's like a little bit more of an advanced version of that. I've got my rush here, trying to hit his arms and see if we can get him. There we go. He tried to grab foolishly. Thought that I... now he got me with it. I was gonna say he tried to grab foolishly when I had the advantage there with the rush. Oop, he's getting a lot of grabs on me. This is like fighting in the test punch all over again. See if we can get one more good hit on him. Oop, he's lost his arm. And oop, that is so, the arms recover so quickly that electric attacks might not be quite as good as, you know, I've claimed in other videos. They are one of my favorite types of attacks in this. But the fact that you can, oh no, is that gonna be it? Oop, it's so close. I think if we don't get grabbed or hit, we got it on time. But yeah, having your arms broken means you're so open to grabs. You can't guard, you can't really get out of the way. But at the same time, it's one of those things where it takes a little bit to break them, and they can recover pretty quickly. So you might want to go for fire for extra damage and knockdown, or freeze to, you know, slow them down to help you get the attacks a little bit more, you know, locked on. I think we're gonna do this Min Min match, and then we are gonna jump out of here, and we will finish up with any, you know, what other else things you want to see. She's got the Naruto Maki on her shoulder. That's like a family trademark. The little swirl, you know, fish cake thing from a bowl of ramen. And this is the ramen bowl stage. There's a cool dragon logo in the center. She is one of my favorite characters for sure. She's so cool with her. She's like a good blend of silly and fun with her design, where she's got noodle arms, but then she's got these cool dragons, and you can see she charges up her left arm and can be really tough to deal with, because that means she gets this auto charged punch until you knock her down well enough to actually get that. I just punched my desk. Speaking of punches, be careful with your motion controls out there. She might end up beating me anyways. So yeah, whenever she gets that dragon arm, she doesn't have to charge her left arm's punches anymore, which is really handy. And unlike Springman, you don't have to wait until the end of the match to actually get that. There we go. Froze her with my Coolerang, and then went in for the grab there. Just be careful of her dragon, especially, you know, she's got the dragon on the wrong arm, but you can do that too. You can put any arm on any arm, just like with other characters. But she's got her chakra, like the Ram, which is like a fire thing on the left arm. She wants a quicker bit of damage, it looks like. It's really surprising that Kid Cobra does so much damage on grab compared to some of the other characters. He has a bit more boosted grab. Master Mummy has the most with 200, but still, so 170, nothing to gawk at, or you know. Oh, jeez, I think we're okay. I jumped in on accident. But yeah, he's got a good grab game, so I should be using it more. So that's her other ability. Ooh, jeez. Her other ability outside of her really cool dragon arm is, the ability to break mine. She's got that kick when she's in the air or backpedaling or doing anything like that. She just barely beat me. She can, when you're kind of going backwards or jumping forwards or around, you can kick stuff out of the way. Very similar to Springman. and his ability to block stuff on releasing his charges. So yeah, all this stuff I did talk about in the test punch. If you want to hear more about that, there's going to be all these test punch streams. Definitely check out the preview video I did if you want to see some ranked matches, oops. I jumped into, party match, did different stuff online with other people like YouTubers and reviews people that are out there playing the game as well. Now I'm back with a vengeance here. We're probably not going to get a perfect, but no, definitely not now. Getting some health though. Didn't let her get much of it. Oh, look out. So yeah, see, she just kicked that out of the way, making life very rough on me. So let's see if we can get in here and catch her. No, she's gonna avoid. Oh no, she didn't avoid that. Juggling is definitely something you wanna focus on. Like if you have arms that are faster and you can juggle during a rush attack, you get a lot of damage from that. Just gonna kind of, wait for that to run out and then get in here and try to slap her. Oh no, ooh, we lost our arm, but we should be okay. Nope, yeah, definitely don't want to go backwards when you're running from her, because that dragon has such a good beam that just goes straight in and gets you. I think my grab is going to be the death of me here if I'm not careful. See if we can dodge out of the way. Trying to make sure you're holding down your punches long enough to get the charged attacks is definitely key as well. Nope. Ah, that was a risk. I should have used my rush, but there's a cool look at, whenever you get the throw with Min Min, you don't have to charge that dragon. All right, we'll go out on that loss. Let me know if you want to see other stuff, because, we have a little bit of time here. I'm going to stream an hour, and then we'll do another hour, too, another time. So we're going to keep it to an hour for this. But let me know if you got any questions. I'm going to jump into other modes. Let's see, what could we... I've got enough to get arms, so let's do that real quick while I'm checking out the chat. And, we showed a bit of Kid Cobra. Maybe let's do some Byte Barq for this, because I definitely want to make sure I'm unlocking more for them. You see I have a bunch of them already, but... So get arms, you're just going to use the normal toasters. You have money you have to spend on these timers, the in-game currency. And I'm going to spend the 100 for the medium timer. The goal here is to hit the targets to rack up points and unlock as many arms as you can. There's little timers that you can see that will pop up. Let's see if we can hit that. There we go. There should be a timer going by. Oh, we just missed it. Oh no. Just kind of focused a little bit too much on the timer, and I missed the target there a lot. But look, we're unlocking them pretty quick. The more of that currency you spend, the more arms you're going to see pop up. So it definitely helps to play the tougher, longer-lasting timer modes and not just stick with the short one to a little too fast there. So it's kind of like skill shot where you do your arms come back a bit slower than in the normal game at times, especially if you miss. So you got to be careful. There's a Ninjara one. I want to keep getting points, but I don't want to miss any. There's a higher chance of getting the ones for your character, so you definitely want to do this with the character that you like more. But at the same time, we're running out of time here. Ooh, I gotta hurry. No, we ran out. I couldn't get another timer in time. Definitely focus on the character you want to play as, because you'll unlock more for them. But here we go. We got the Ram, the one I was talking about a lot with Min Min, for Ribbon Girl, and the Slamamander, one of Kid Cobra's. It's a wind version of her Slapamander, which is pretty good. We got the Trident, or Tribolt, the electric one that Springman has, but that is on the Ninjara, and then we also have the Chakram. Or no, they're not electric, sorry. They're the electric ones are a different symbol. And there we go, and Chakram on Byte Barq. We got the Hydra on Helix, and that is it. So yeah, we unlocked a lot. We got a lot of bang for our buck, but it can take quite a bit to get all the stuff unlocked. If you want to get all the arms for everybody, I think it's like 270. So I'm hoping Nintendo patches in some, if there's already not a way. I hope they patch in a way to actually get more arms unlocked easier for competitive stuff. We'll jump into 1-on-100 real quick, but I can't play too much of it. I did beat it with him. Let's do a little Twintel here, since she is one of the ones that you don't see as often, and we'll give her something maybe. That's a pretty good setup. Let's go with her default. But yeah, so this mode, if I play too far, we're gonna see spoilers. Although I don't think it's a spoiler anymore because it was revealed in the test punch. But I'll play it safe. But yeah, it's one of those things where if we people want to see ARMS as a competitive type of sport, an esport, like, Smash Brothers and stuff, they're going to need to hopefully add a way for tournament organizers to more easily, it's too far away, we got to get in there close, to more easily get the, oop, I think I lost something here. Uh-oh, got a guard. Hold on, we'll be back in a second, hopefully. They need to add a way to more easily unlock this stuff, I think, just so it'll get embraced a little easier, because it would take hours to unlock this, which I think is fine if you're playing on your own. It gives you incentive to play. But if you are trying to do this for a ton of different switches to set up for that sort of thing, then I definitely think they're going to need to do some changes to the way to unlock it, or at least add an option to make it a little easier. The developers have said there's going to, free updates with stages, characters, and arms in the future. They did mention that the characters they said were like a fraction of the ones they had planned. So I'm fully expecting, to see maybe like a double-sized roster from what we have now, if not even more, with the way that they phrased that. But at the same time, it's one of those things where I'm also almost looking forward a little more to different balance updates too, because I do really, whenever Smash would get balance updates or Splatoon, I always really looked forward to that because it did feel like they're improving the game. So I think that's a thing that they are going to focus on as they go. They did that with Mario Kart, but not to the extent of Splatoon and some of the Smash ones. Hopefully they follow the example of Mario Kart. It's the same developers of Mario Kart. Hopefully they follow the example of that game, as well as Splatoon for sure, to make sure that they give us detailed patch notes is my hope. So we're getting towards 50 here. This mode, you just basically have to survive against all these Helix wannabes, and you get healing, every so often, so to make it a little easier to survive. We're doing pretty good. They get more and more aggressive as you go, so you got to be careful because they're going to start punching me if I try to do throws too much and everything like that. Someone says we need an arm cam. Maybe I could try to set that up. Yeah, I mentioned in the preview, but you will actually, if you play motion controls and you punch, you're gonna burn calories. It seems silly to say, to claim, but it's true. I feel like I've actually focusing on playing a game a lot. It does seem like if you're playing a ton of a game, you eat less anyways, so you gotta be careful about that. But I do feel like I have trimmed down a little bit and weirdly bulked up in my biceps specifically, just punching constantly with the motion control. So that's a good reason to use the traditional controls occasionally, so you'll be able to not wear out your arms. But if you're worried about getting exhausted playing this game, don't worry. There's other control options that are just as valid and just as, good to use, because I was playing this game mobily a lot and it worked really well. I think even better than something like Splatoon or something would when you're moving around. All right, so I'm actually going to quit out of this because you guys get the gist. It does get tougher as you go, and there is a boss at the end, but I don't want to risk spoiling anything for anybody if you haven't seen certain stuff. So we're going to throw a rush out and say au revoir to these, like Twintel did there, to these hooligans here jumping all over the place. They're kind of creepy, although they have the same weird, mysterious flubber charm that Helix does. All right, so we're gonna jump out of here and quit. And if you have any other questions or anything, let me know, and I will answer those for you in the chat, or you can tweet at me at swimbird941. We're gonna end out here though, so thank you guys again. Please leave a like if you enjoyed this. Maybe subscribe if you haven't. ARMS is coming out very soon, June 16th, only a handful of days, so we'll be able to check out the full game, and I can show you guys more Grand Prix mode and play online with you. So in the description is my Switch friend code if you want to add me. I'm looking for tons of ARMS players to play against, and definitely check out the other videos I mentioned, the preview, the ARMS test punch streams, all that good stuff. Thanks again, and I will see you guys next time for more. Goodbye.